Hello fellow bookworms and welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie and I'm here to talk about books. So shout out to my mom for knitting me this hat. I'm gonna wear it in this video since it's Mother's Day weekend and also my roots are extremely grown out. Also shout out to my mom, happy Mother's Day. I love you and I hope you watch this. So from now on, I am not going to give like a monthly wrap up. At the end of the month, I get so stressed like, oh my gosh, I need to finish another book to add to my video. So I'm just going to split it up into like 5 or 6 books or whatever feels right. Today I will be talking about 6 books that I read in April. And yeah, so let's get to it. First book I want to talk about is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. So it's about a girl named Nora who tries to end her own life, and she ends up in the Midnight Library, which is a library full of books of alternatives to what her life could be like if she made different decisions. So she blames herself a lot for things that have happened to her. Maybe because she didn't finish school, or she didn't end up marrying this guy, or she didn't do this and do this, and so she kind of learns a whole new view to her own life throughout the Midnight Library. This book is beautiful. I literally cried at the end because of how full circle it came and how beautiful the ending was. I truly believe that this book gave me a brand new perspective on life. It really made me look at things differently, and if you're not ready to do that, don't read this book. But if you are, pick it up. You need it. It's beautiful. I've now decided that I want to read every adult book that Matt Haig has written, because he does have some children books, so every adult book, I want to read it. I think he's coming out with a new book here soon. He's writing a book. I don't know how this man writes so many good books in such short time, but somehow he does it. So, you know, thank you, Matt Haig. And also thank you for writing so truthfully about mental illness, about depression and suicidal thoughts and things that people truly go through. This wasn't a romanticized version of it. At first I was a little skeptical, and then I found Matt Haig's Instagram and realized that he personally deals with depression and anxiety, so he writes about it in a way that's very relatable, in a way that I was like, oh, I feel this way sometimes, like, and I don't know, he writes about it so naturally. And because Matt Haig does have these experiences, I believe that he writes about it so naturally in a way that really portrays mental illness in its true light. It doesn't try to make it, he doesn't use it just for a plot. He uses it, it seems, to show something, to make readers understand what it feels like to go through this. So I think that even if you don't struggle with mental illness and you read this book, you might think, a friend who says they have depression, but I don't really know what it's like. You might read this book and then realize, oh, this is what they go through. That's rough. Maybe I should send them a text back faster, or give them a little extra love, or I don't know. It really puts you in the shoes of someone who does struggle with these things, and I think that's beautiful. So that's my first book, and on to the next one. So the next one I read was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I love this book. So when I was younger, and probably like high school, early 20s, I was super into Greek mythology. Like, I remember we read the Odyssey in high school and I loved it. I'm pretty sure mostly everybody else hated it, but I loved it. Anytime there was a book or a video game that was based on Greek mythology, I ate it up. And I don't know where I lost that interest at some point, but this book 100% brought it back for me, and now I want to read all the Greek mythology retellings, anything that has to do with Greek mythology. You'll see here soon I'm going to do a book haul video. I may have overdid it, but I bought so many Greek mythology retelling books. The Song of Achilles is a retelling of the Iliad. It talks about Achilles and Patroclus and their beautiful but extremely heartbreaking love story. Gimme, stop. Hey, quit it. Do you want to sit up here with me? Here. Sit up here. You want to sit up here? Okay. Oh. Alright, she's over it now. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Madeline Miller does a really good job of talking about Achilles and Patroclus and their love for each other. Basically, they become friends as they're young boys, and Achilles makes Patroclus his companion, and they grow into lovers, and Achilles' mom does not approve. But so I don't want to go into too much more detail and ruin it for anyone, but this book I 100% do recommend, and you should definitely read it. I've seen it going around a lot on BookTube, on Bookstagram. Everybody seems to be reading it. I wish I would have picked it up sooner. It's beautiful. I went on a vacation to the beach early in April, and I laid on the beach and read this book, and it was kind of cool because there are some, I guess, beach scenes in the book, even though it's like they're at war, but still is kind of interesting to put myself into the book in a way, if that makes sense. So also beach reading, definitely recommend. Have to do. It's amazing. I live in Ohio. I don't get beach reading time. I get, 30-degree weather in the morning, 70-degree weather in the afternoon, and 20-degree weather at night. Yeah. So one thing I will say is be prepared to get to maybe this ending part of the book, this part, and be prepared to cry. It is heartbreaking. I read a lot of books in April that truly made me cry, and I feel like I don't cry that often at books, so maybe I was having an emotional month. I am a Cancer. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but okay, so definitely read this. You want to say hi? Oh, hi. Mwah. Hi, baby. What are you doing? Next book I want to talk about is A Pho Love Story by Lone Lee. It could be Lone Lay. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm really sorry. Look at the cover of this book. It is so cute, and if you read this book, be prepared to be hungry the whole time. It talks about so much food, and it describes the food in an amazing way. So basically this book is a maybe like a Romeo and Juliet reimagining in a way. So it is about two teenagers, Lynn and Bao. Their families both own Vietnamese restaurants, and their families' restaurants compete with one another. So them dating is frowned upon. The families of each of them do not even want them to be friends. They don't even want them to look at each other. I'm pretty sure they don't like that they even go to the same school. So Lynn is aspiring to be an artist, and Bao has no clue what he wants to do with his life, and he kind of finds his way throughout the book. So they do secretly date. There's some sweet little scenes between the two of them, and this is a young adult, so there are some teenage angst moments, which is kind of why I don't read young adult too often, just because I don't know, I'm almost 30. I don't want to think about those cringy teenage angst moments from my high school years, but the rest of the book was super cute, so I can look past it, and that's okay. So while they get to know each other more, they start to dig into the history of their families and start to learn why they're rivals. And I'm not gonna lie, again, there were moments that I was literally tearing up at this book, and I don't know why. Okay, so maybe I was just super emotional last month. I'm not sure why. But this is a must read. It's super cute. And also there are a lot of people doing Asian book readathons this month. I know that With Cindy is doing Asian book readathons, so this would be a good pick to add to your list. And I will link her video down below where she explains what the readathon is about and how to do it and all of that. So also, I haven't seen many people actually show the hardcover of this book, but look how cute it is. There's like a little bowl of pho on it, and look at the spine. It's so adorable. This is actually one of my favorite colors, so yeah. So the next book I read in April was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and I believe this book doesn't actually come out until this month. I think it comes out technically on the 11th, but I got this with Book of the Month, so I got an early start on it. So I read this as soon as I came back from vacation, and this was a really good book. So it's kind of a friends to almost lovers to kind of enemies to almost lovers to, I don't know, we'll see what happens. So basically it's about two people, Poppy and Alex, and they are really good friends. They met in college, they hung out all the time, and then they both kind of separated ways. So Henry went back to living in Ohio, where they're both from, and then Poppy moved to New York, I believe. So it's kind of cool to read, like, he lives in Ohio, I'm from Ohio, I understand the whole, like, how Poppy does not want to move back to Ohio. She absolutely despises it. I totally got that. So anyway, because they moved to different states, they continued going on vacation with one another once every summer. And Poppy starts out as a blogger where she talks about cheap ways to go on vacation and how to save money. And then she ends up becoming this like big time writer, and every summer she takes Henry on a vacation with her. And so it's very back and forth. Like when one of them has feelings for the other doesn't have feelings for them, or the other's in a relationship. And so the whole time you're like, are they ever going to freaking get together? Like, oh my gosh. And then at the, like, towards the end, I remember I was so anxious, like, literally sitting on the edge of my seat, and I was like, are either one of them gonna tell the other how they feel? Like, please! But I am actually very happy with the ending of this book. It's very neat how it's written. It goes from present time to, like, the vacation they're on now, to the past vacations. I think it goes through like 11 or 12 years of vacations they went on, so it'll be like now and then the first vacation, and then it'll be like now the second vacation, and it goes like that. It's really interesting. And the present stories, the end of that chapter almost always leaves you on this big cliffhanger where you're like, what the heck is gonna happen? Like, what the heck? And then you it automatically switches into the past, and you're like, oh, I want to know. Yeah, so sometimes I was like, ooh, I almost want to flip ahead, but no, I can't. So I definitely recommend this book. It's really good. I actually don't think I read a bad book in April, so I'm probably going to say that about all of the 6 books that I talk about. Ooh, no, I'm wrong. I lied already. If you watched my last video, yeah, I lied. And that's going to be the next book that I talk about. So the next book that I read is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I already did a very lengthy video where I ranted a lot about this book. a lot. So if you're interested in seeing that, I will put the link down below and check that out. So I'm not going to talk about this too much now. I'll just give a brief synopsis of what it's about. So it's about a girl named Addie LaRue, obviously, who sells her soul to the devil for basically immortality, but there's a trick to it that no one will ever remember her. She can't be marked down in history, and yeah, so she never gets to build relationships with people and things like that. That's pretty much a brief summary of it. Like I said, if you want to hear more about my opinions of it, please watch my last video. This is the one book in April that I did not love. And that's kind of, I don't know, I'm very disappointed about that because I feel like everybody was raving about this book. And it really let me down. The last book I want to talk about is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. This book was so cute, and look at the cover! The cover is just freaking adorable. Look at the little wiener dog! So this was like a cute little lighthearted true crime. And so the main character, Leela, kind of ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time. She is working at her family's Filipino restaurant, and her ex comes in, which she now does not like. A lot of people in town do not like him, and he ends up dying in the restaurant, and they believe it's poison, and she gets blamed for it. And throughout the book, while they're investigating it, she constantly ends up again in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's kind of humorous because it's like, how do you keep getting yourself in this situation? Like, how? So the author is Filipino American. So obviously the main character is Filipino, and a lot of the characters in the book are Filipino. I thought that was really cool because I do work with a couple of Filipino ladies. And so I got to be like, oh, look at this book I'm reading. And they thought it was so cute because you don't see many Filipino authors. So that was kind of a cool little moment for me. And they were really excited about it. I thought that was adorable. One thing that I thought was really cute about the book was that, oops, in the beginning of the book, there's a glossary and a pronunciation guide for you. So if you're kind of like, oh, what food is that? What does that mean? You can look back at the glossary and it'll tell you what kind of food it is. And then also in the back of the book, there are a couple recipes. And I definitely like to try them. That's so cute. They sound delicious. Okay, so those are 6 books that I read in April. I actually have a couple days off work, finally, so I'm going to be doing a bunch of recording today and then probably some editing tomorrow. I am going to be trying to get 2 to 3 videos out a week, so hopefully that's what happens. I feel like I'm making deep promises to myself here, but we will see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. And please give this video a like and leave a comment down below. When you like the videos and you leave comments down below, it makes sure that other people can see this video, and I would very much appreciate that. Bye-bye!